Hello my foodies, on this installment of PJ Cooks Sexy Food, we're going to make one of my favorite side dishes that I always get at the kosher deli. We're going to be making mushroom barley. So here we go, let's begin.
Our ingredients today is as follows. We are going to need 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. I'm using cremini. You could use white mushrooms, you could use whatever you'd like. We have 8 ounces of diced onions, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We have seasoned salt. You could use any one that you like, or just plain salt and pepper. I have one 12-ounce package of toasted barley-shaped noodles. If you can't find toasted barley-shaped noodles in your local store, you could use Israeli couscous. Just before you use it, toast it in a large skillet with some butter to get it a nice golden brown. And then the last thing we're going to need is we're going to need 5 quarts of broth. Today I'm going to be using Better Than Bouillon's mushroom base to make my broth, but you could use veggie broth, you could use chicken broth, any type of broth or stock that you have handy. So let's begin. So to begin, we have our broth on a burner coming up to a boil. In the meantime, we are going to start by sauteing the onions in the 2 tablespoons of olive oil over medium heat until they become soft and golden brown. This should take about 4 to 5 minutes. While our onions are sauteing, our broth came up to a good boil, so now we are going to add in the toasted barley or the couscous. Give it a stir, and we're going to keep this on a medium-high heat, stirring it until the noodles are just cooked. That should take about 8 to 10 minutes. So it's been 5 minutes. You can see the onions have softened and the edges are just getting browned. This is exactly how we wanted it to look. Now we're going to take these out of the pot and put them in a separate bowl. While our noodles are cooking, I went ahead and brought the pan back onto the burner that we used to saute the onions. We're going to add in the 2 tablespoons of butter. Going to let that melt for just a moment. Once that is all melted, we're going to then add the mushrooms. So our butter has melted. We're going to add the mushrooms to the pan, and we're going to saute these until they're just softened. So it's been 5 minutes. Our mushrooms are nice and soft. Now we're going to go ahead and take these and put them in the same bowl that we put our onions that were reserved earlier. Go ahead and remove the mushrooms. Now if you look at the bottom of the pot, you can see all this brown bits that are accumulated from the caramelization of the onions and the cooking of the mushrooms. We want that in our finished product. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/4 cup of the mushroom broth from the barley that's still cooking. Going to stir that in, and we're going to scrape up all those bits off the bottom of the pan. Once this reduces down to about, I would say, a tablespoon or 2, we will turn off the heat and we will reintroduce the mushrooms and the onions to the pan. As you can see, the liquid has reduced. Now we're going to go ahead and put the mushrooms and onions back into the pan. We're going to wait for the barley to finish cooking. Once that is finished, we are going to introduce it to the mushrooms and onions and give it a nice toss. So our pasta is fully cooked. We're going to introduce it now to the mushrooms and onions. Let me give this a nice stir. You can see how it's all coming together. At this point, we want to take the seasoned salt. I want to season this up liberally. The thing about when you do this seasoning, you want to do it to your taste. I wouldn't make it too salty because then people could always add additional salt at the table. This dish can be served both hot and cold. And if you wait a moment, I'm going to plate this and show you how pretty it's going to look. I went ahead and I plated up the mushroom barley. Just going to give it a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil over the top just to give it a nice shine. Maybe a little bunch of parsley in the middle for a garnish. Oh, doesn't that look sexy? I hope you enjoyed this recipe and I hope you make it at home.